Wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. I couldn't think of a more perfect word for Mr. Paul Saladino, or should we say Shiladino. And I guess you can say this about the other carnivores as well, as they are being paid to promote the carnivore diet. If you aren't aware of the continued plagiarism of my information, check out my past two videos, Copy Pasta Salad and Paul Saladino, the Carnivore Copycat.
Recently, Frank Tufano has been talking about iron overload on the carnivore diet. And the channel, What I've Learned, has just put up a video talking somewhat about iron overload. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb right now and bet that Frank Tufano is going to say how this guy has copied his content. And what's interesting is What I've Learned, the guy who runs that channel, was supposed to interview Frank a while back. He was supposed to meet him in New York City, and I guess he got a look at his channel and saw that he attacks everybody, basically. I don't know the reason exactly, but he canceled it. He didn't want to do it anymore. And this is what people are talking about when they tell Frank that he is burning bridges, like actively burning bridges with everybody.
In people without hemochromatosis. For example, studies that show blood donors have lower rates of heart disease and cancer. One study showed that therapeutic bloodletting improved biomarkers for patients with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease.
Everybody in the community. So what he does is he'll reach out to somebody, and if they quote-unquote ignore him, he just blasts them. And you can tell when he talks about them, he's like looking, he's fishing for things to talk about. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's also kind of funny because these same people, if they would have reciprocated and, you know, had him on their podcast, like Joe Rogan, for instance, if Joe Rogan would have emailed him and wanted him to come on the podcast, he would have nothing but pleasant things to say about him.
This bison ribeye I just took out of the Traeger grill. I like this. Joe is sponsored by Traeger grills, and he isn't promoting any harmful or negative behavior like these other carnivores. Selling people grilling equipment is inarguably better than estrogenic feedlot meat, but let's keep an eye on this and see how it goes. Cohen has finished his recent carnivore diet challenge, gloating on Instagram with a chiseled physique at 52 years of age. Let's take a look at the recent post.
I did the carnivore diet for all of January. I lost 12 pounds, gained a ton of energy. My energy levels were completely flat the whole month. No ups and downs from crashing after eating. I had a belly. A lot of people made fun of me, fat shamed me. I lost all my fat. I lost all the belly. I lost my love handles. I don't know if I'm gonna keep eating like this, but it was tremendously beneficial. And I also have an autoimmune disorder. It's called vitiligo, and my vitiligo improved. I had a bunch of white spots fill in, so I don't know. I went into this thing thinking this carnivore diet was wacky, and I probably would think it's nonsense, but it's as good as I felt in a long time, and it's just 1 month.
What he isn't gloating about is the amount of steroids, HRT, performance-enhancing drugs he is injecting into his tushy. Guys, there's a reason you don't see anyone looking like that, let alone at 52.
No, I guess we don't see anyone, nobody over the age of 50 can look fit. I mean, not huge, not ripped like Dwayne Johnson or anything, but just fit and muscular. I mean, not a mixed martial artist, not a jiu-jitsu fighter, not someone who is literally eating no carbs, nothing but protein and fat. No, that would be crazy to think, right? That would be crazy. They must be on steroids. They have to be, because they didn't reach out for you to be on their podcast, so they have to be on steroids. So, if I'm being real with you guys, I'm going to show you the bit of information that first prompted me to make this video, and it wasn't going to be anything about how Frankie blasts everyone.
Not kill as many sentient beings.
Are you talking about like me personally?
Yeah, you
I
personally.
mean, I try to. I mean, I consume less than 1,500 calories a day.
I talk a lot on this channel about eating disorders and body dysphoria, and I'm not going to go that far, and I'm not doing that. But what I will say is Frankie has concerned me before with the way he looks at himself and the way he looks even at other women, and how he's attracted to a very, very slim body type. And so, yeah, I just thought this was concerning because 1,500 calories is low for a woman. So a man, I think he's like 5'8"-ish, maybe a little bit shorter, but regardless, that's pretty low. And I know he eats more now that he's actually working out, but he just upped it to 2 meals a day, and that he acted like was a huge stress on him.
Yeah, no, pretty gross. A vegan defending this girl instead of Freely the banana girl promoting a healthy plant-based diet. So in this video, she goes on to
Abby looks kind of cute there. She's put on some pounds lately.
say, like a vegan diet is so restrictive.
And yes, a vegan
Meaning she no longer has anorexia, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he didn't even know that. But regardless, she's healthy and she looks a lot better now.
Beef companies, and there have been blatantly obvious money grabs like raw alignment shilling for supermarket meat. Michaela Peterson recently made a post on Instagram with a cute little infograph comparing estrogen in beef to other foods. Michaela, what do you exactly spend your free time doing? Getting dicked down by European chads? Then you come on Instagram and give health advice?
Oh God, Frank. Okay, so let's take a look at what she's saying here. All she's actually saying is, all anyone is saying is, do what works for you. That is it. Like, what Frank doesn't understand is nobody is trying to say that we should all be eating grain-fed steak every day. Nobody's saying that. We get it. We know what is best. We know that local grass-fed is best. We know that eating organ meat and, getting some seafood, things like that, variety, nose to tail. We know that these things are going to help us. Well, most of us know this and promote this. The thing is, Frank, not everybody can afford to eat that way all the time, especially when you're eating a lot of meat. Okay? I'll give you myself as an example. We have cattle. I don't even own them, so I get meat from them, from my family, but not like year round, you know what I mean? So if we don't have money to put in on a cow, and which is, a lot of money at once, if you don't have all that money at once, you have to go to the supermarket and you have to buy it pound for pound. And pound for pound, sometimes I can't buy grass-fed beef. I'd like to when I can, but sometimes I can't. And his solution is to buy wild-caught fish. I don't know why you think wild-caught fish is so cheap, but it's not.
But for some reason, the idea that the long-term carnivores were lying came to me. How are these people on the diet for 10, 15, 20 years without any proof or credibility? They claim to be long-term carnivores, but don't really have an understanding of the diet past a beginner level. Now, I didn't really remember this after I woke up, but coincidentally, and guys, I've rarely had this happen in my life. A viewer emailed me about this, and when I saw that email, I was like, huh? Because I dreamed about this last night. I was like, hold on, am I losing my mind? And he's claiming is from 2017, after 20 years on the carnivore diet. This person that emailed me pointed out a Remax logo in the background. That's a real estate company. He also showed me that Remax changed their logo from their original 1978 logo in 2005 as well as 2017. And if we zoom in on the picture, the logo is clearly not the 1978 logo. The question is, was this picture taken in 2005 or was this picture taken in 2017? So Joe is probably lying here by at least 7 years, possibly 19 if it's the newer logo. And as much as I would like to support local farmers, they don't necessarily have good intentions either. I've been ripped off by one too many Amish pricks. They tend to overcharge for food. With $88,000, I could have started my own farm, providing people with high quality animal foods. These carnivores asking why they don't promote quality animal foods, why they don't speak about dairy, why they don't promote wild caught fish, pasture raised eggs, local farms. All they say is, yes, you can do those things, but people are doing just fine on a grain-fed, corn-stuffed, Angus prime feedlot diet. Ooh-wee! Really?
So what Frank promotes is pretty great. I'll give him that. He does talk about all of the best things that we should be trying to do, eating local, high quality. And he does talk about dairy, so that's something I don't really hear others talk about, and I don't like that others act like it's basically pasteurized dairy or nothing, But if you look at MeatRx, their focus is meat. And if you look at Michaela's page, she's now eating liver, at least, I see. So I think she has incorporated organ meats, so that's good. They're basically all doing what works for them, and that's what that's the message. Do what works for you. Eat the best quality when you can, if you can. Eat locally, but do what works for you, and basically get all the processed stuff out. It's a great message. As far as any of these other young influencers, especially if they're single, they don't have a family, just take a look at their page. They are promoting themselves. That is literally it. They are promoting themselves.
As the carnivore diet gets more and more popular, I'm going to have to constantly aware people so that they can make informed decisions on their health. Guys, let me know in the comments if you would be interested in funding a farm. I was planning on saving up the money myself, but that's been taking longer than I thought. And if people are going to give money to the shills for some nonsense documentary, I'm comfortable taking that money and putting it towards a good cause. And for those of you guys that are like, oh, Frank's a jerk off, he attacks everyone, he's some tough guy from New York. Coinciding with World Carnivore Month, someone started Organuary, and people like Chris Kresser are promoting the consumption of more organ meats. And at face value, you might consider this a good thing. But the messages spread are still fitting their agenda. They aren't emphasizing the importance of quality of the food you're eating. It's why they don't acknowledge certain vitamins that aren't contained in low-quality meat, specifically vitamin K2, vitamin D3, omega fatty acids. They're telling you to eat liver, but not making you aware of the importance of vitamin synergy, making you susceptible to the dangers of high-dose vitamin A, and a bunch of other things that can manifest themselves. But the biggest issue, by far, is the carnivore movement as a whole.
So to sum this whole thing up, he is the only one. He is the only one who can do it. So we need to fund his farms and, heal the world with his methodologies, because nobody else can do it. And if they are doing it similar to him, they are copying.
I'm the only one that looks the part. I'm the only one that even has hair, to be honest. So I don't really have that much competition. And now with Joe joining the brigade, we need someone with hair, right?